Cool.
All right, people, you're in the building. The review you all have been looking for, the review you've been waiting for all day long is me. It's the living legend, Larry, and we're here to break down the finale of WandaVision. My brother, Larry, that's a wonderful shirt you're wearing that people can buy at shoplifegains.com. How you
Yeah,
feeling,
man.
my brother?
I'm just trying to remind people when the stock market is down like it is a buying opportunity. It is that time for you to get your life gains on.
That's right. Definitely.
You know?
Definitely. Don't even sweat it. The stock market always go through these blips for my people out there following the market. Don't lose your underwear. It does. This is an opportunity for you to be buying. And it's also a teaching opportunity. When you have greater than 25% profit on the table, trim back some of it.
Yeah.
Unless you're waiting to save that stock for 5, 10, 15-year increments. If not, get some of that profit off the table if you're up 25% or more. But having said that, Larry, we're here for WandaVision. We'll be back on Sunday for the stocks. Let's go ahead and dive on into this thing, Larry, because somebody died on WandaVision, Larry. and I made a special tribute to the person that died that we're not going to see on WandaVision again. Take a look at this tribute to my man who's gone, and he's in the vibranium heaven. We were supposed to cry during the episode of WandaVision, Larry, but for some reason my ass didn't cry. So I went and created something to make me cry. Seeing this creation I made, I am tearing up for the vision Wanda created. But before we deep dive into all this, Larry, give the people your 2-minute summation of how you felt about this story, and then I'll come back with mine.
Well, I'll tell you about this episode. I mean, I liked it and I hated it at the same time. I mean, there were some things I just hated about it technically. Like it felt on this episode from a technical standpoint, it felt like they ran out of money and then they just went cheap on it to trade, because like the special effects in this episode were real janky. And I was like, why?
You think you didn't like this? Which ones are you talking about?
I mean, like this. Like I'll tell you what I really the first thing I really noticed was like that the scene when the first scenes when the two visions were fighting up in the sky, and it just looked like that really bad green screen that was done on a studio, on a studio lot. It just looked really, really bad and low budget. I just didn't like that at all. And then, all of those, not all of them, but most of the scenes where they were up in the sky just looked really bad and low budget. I just didn't like them. And then the second post-credit scene where they had Wanda, and you see like they go in, it's like you're flying through the mountains and over a lake, and then they come down and they go right past Wanda into the cabin. But it was like they said, okay, we ran out of money, so we're not going to do this with CGI. Instead, we're going to do this with a drone. And so they did it with the drone, but you can see it was windy, and you can see like the drone like being pushed over to the side and coming back, and it wasn't steady. And it looked real janky. It looked like somebody filmed it with their DJI Mavic Pro or something. It just didn't look right. It didn't look up to Disney Marvel standards,
I was cool with pretty much all the special effects except for the part where Wanda was starting to bring the barrier down. That looked a little janky. Do you remember that part when Agatha adds her on, and she was about to lose vision, and I didn't like that part. Now there was a big battle scene, and we'll discuss all these, ladies and gentlemen, in detail, where Wanda was in the sky with Agatha. And now that was a little janky, kind of, sort of. It didn't look as real as it had looked some of the previous episodes, in my opinion. Now, here's my overall synopsis of the episode and the series. Great series. This wasn't my favorite episode, and I think we all expected more because everybody had been theory crafting what they thought would happen, and none of that happened. But we've always said with Marvel, you can have as many theories as you want. You might see out of 100 theories, maybe one thing Marvel puts in there. I mean, Marvel's just good like that. But having said that, Marvel always put Easter eggs into their movies and now their TV shows because they are leading to these theories that people tend to craft. The Dark Hole, the book, that's still in there. We know who that leads to. That leads to Sithon, the god of chaos. Wanda being able to learn how to use her powers. They even said in the show, she's now more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, which is Doctor Strange. So of course, we was all expecting to see Doctor Strange. We didn't see him. And overall, this episode felt like I ate a sugar donut, all sweet and glazy on the outside, nothing but a big old hole in the middle. It satisfies my taste buds, but it does nothing to satisfy and satiate my body. That's how I felt with this episode. And we're going to go ahead. B. Avery's on his way. Let me shout out all the people so me and Larry can keep this thing rolling for you. Greta Peger. Go ahead, Larry.
You were talking about how there's all these Easter eggs and stuff in there. And, I've been watching this series with my wife, and I asked her about how she felt about it. And she was like, yeah, or I asked her about how she felt about when the episode ended at the finale. So how'd you feel about it? She was like, yeah. And I said, about the series, about the finale or the whole series? She was like, yeah, kind of the whole series. And part of it was, she was like, I just didn't get a lot of it. And I realized as I was talking to her a little bit, I think that what they did with WandaVision was great for all the comic book nerds who love all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think some of it might have been a little bit too in the weeds, too in the comic book weeds for people who are not comic book geeks to just enjoy the series as a standalone series. Now, because there's so many people that have watched this and made it a wildly popular series, I don't imagine that Marvel's going to change that at all. Nope. But it does seem like people who are not really into the comic books and the MCU and all that are really going to fully appreciate, all of what WandaVision is and where maybe it's heading. And so maybe they watch it and they're just like, it was cool. And I think a lot of people may end up saying, well, I can do with it or I could do without it. Where a lot of other people who are into all that stuff are going to be like, okay, I see where they're going now. And I'm looking forward to the next thing that Marvel's going to do.
To that point, Larry, I will say this. A lot of people who are just like your wife is not going to do what a lot of people have done. I've had 50 people to reach out to me to say they've started streaming my YouTube channel because of WandaVision and because we do these breakdowns about the Easter eggs. So you do have people like your wife who don't understand what's going on, but hearing everybody saying it's a good show, they start Google searching or they start YouTube searching who's talking about it. Then they run across people like me and you and some of the big names. And next thing you know, bam, they understand, they getting their geek on, stuff like that. So, I'm fine if Marvel doesn't change because the geeks who do this for a living, we're going to get paid forever. And the people that really want to know, they want to know bad enough. And then your wife probably, she don't want to know that bad. She's just kind of, you're doing it, I might do it, but she's not going to do her homework. 50 people on Facebook, Larry, reached out to me, 50 in my message box. Thankful that we do these reviews and thankful that we're Black. So let me start shouting out the people one more time. We've got a lot of people in here. Larry, you've got a new groupie, and her name is, let's see here, Shakina Gorham. That's Larry's girl. Remy in the building. Tim Windsor, my folks, Support Gaming. Zia in the building. John Doe in the building. Christopher Levette in the building. B. Avery's on his way. And of course, my folk Buzz 703 coming through with the big time, and I do mean the big time super chat.
703.
And we've got 43 people in the room right now. Please, everybody, go hit the like button. Leave me a comment on the thing too. And for your super chat, Buzz, I'm going to give you the person that broke my heart, because Marvel said we were supposed to cry this episode, and I did not cry till I made my own clip. So here I go again with my clip that made me cry. And Larry, you know what, man? Damn it. Let me make my tears look worse. That one when she's holding Vision's face, oh my God. That one get me every time. When she's holding Vision's dissolving face, Larry, it gets me every time. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing cracking. Let's get to breaking down this thing bit by bit, and let's just go ahead and start in true life game form with an opening clip that kind of summarizes the essence of the finale.
Did you know there's an entire chapter devoted to you in the Darkhold?
No one taught me magic.
Your power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. It's your destiny to destroy the world.
Yeah.
That's what they want us to take into Doctor Strange. Because I think, Larry, at this point in time, we have to assume that for at least a little while, Wanda's going to be an adversary. Doctor Strange is not going to be all that thrilled to find out that she done got a hold of that book. And she already has those powers that she can just do things on autopilot. She don't even have to cast spells. She can just think it and it happens. So, that's a huge lead into the story. But let's just start this thing out, Larry. This was the opening scene. They just basically picked up from last week, where you had Agatha basically accosting the kids and Wanda starting to fight her. Larry, what was going through your brain on the opening scene?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. They picked up from exactly where they left off, which I actually kind of appreciated. But, it was one of those things. You knew that Agnes was about to take an L right there, and because it was like she's not going to let anybody put hands on her kids like that without doing anything about it.
Of course not. No. Mm-hmm.
I was surprised that the kids didn't try and do something, because you had the one kid, Wiccan, who could actually, has a bit of mind control. I'm surprised he didn't try and do something.
Larry, I felt like he was just really probably scared and nervous. You could even hear like some voices in his head when she finally broke loose when the mama hit her with the first magic bolt. So maybe he was just so flustered that they couldn't deal with it. But I mean, I'm with you, man. I enjoyed that they started from there, and then the back and forth banter went on with Wanda. We figure out that the same thing Agatha did to her family, she's trying to do with Wanda and her magic. And as they get into the battle, this did come up right here, and we might as well talk about it since it was in the opening clip. The Darkhold, the book of magic, and in this scene right here, she basically flips the page and says to Wanda, "Your chaos magic makes you stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme who reigns over this realm." Larry, when you heard that, did you lose your mind?
Yeah, man. I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I mean, it's nuts when you think about it. If you have, they need to make sure they're on the same page to get them right, to have both the Scarlet Witch and have Doctor Strange as Avengers. I mean, that's dope. If they can keep them both, keep them both happy.
To me, man, it feels like they are taking Wanda down that road to kind of being, I don't want to say an anti-villain, but she might be doing some deviant things. Think of
she's gonna be a. I don't want to say she's gonna be an anti-villain, but she's gonna be one of those people that do some bad stuff. I feel like they're taking her down a similar path like they took down Jean Grey when, before she became or as she was becoming the Phoenix. It was like she has this crazy power. She doesn't know how to control it. She's doing stuff that you shouldn't do, but she's not really doing it because she's evil. She's doing it because she's exercising power that she doesn't fully have control over yet.
Yeah. And if you notice, Larry, everybody in the MCU who has crazy level powers and can go off the hinges, they always send their asses and put them like in front of a house the way they did Wanda. Think about it. Mm-hmm. You had the Hulk. When they first found him, he was in a little house out in the country giving people shots. Then we see Thanos, crazy level power. He goes to another planet, gets him a little cottage away from everybody. And now we got Wanda, who done went to a cottage, Larry, far away from everybody, sitting right here on the steps of her own home, detached from her physical body, with her spirit body in there, learning the same way Doctor Strange does. Damn.
Right. Boy. Was that intro though? Was that not very reminiscent of that post-credit scene when they showed Bucky with his arm in Wakanda?
It was similar. I can see the
little house or whatever right on the water. Come over, did that big sweeping shot towards them.
Yep. And now here's the next thing we got to, Larry. We got to this right here, the introduction of the White Vision. And at first, Larry, it seemed like everything was going hunky-dory. Okay. She's walking up on him. He's all sweet and nice. Now, the audience, we know that he's going to do something mean, but Wanda's thinking, what the hell? Next thing you know, bam. He picks her up. And I'm thinking to myself, Wanda, you more powerful than Vision. Why you ain't hit him with a bolt? Larry, what was going through your mind during this exchange?
I was thinking she should have known, Mm-hmm. She should have been able to feel him or not feel him, but I mean, she was asking him, Vision, is that really you? Like, she should have known when she couldn't feel him. She created him out of her own magic. She should have been able to feel her own magic radiating off of him if it was him. And when she didn't feel that, she should have known that it wasn't him. But
maybe not, because remember, this is the real Vision. This is what's left of the real Vision. And remember, the only way they got him to work, Larry, was they had to use her enchantment magic that was left on that.
No, you're right on that. You're right on that. I forgot that's how they got him to work again. So you're right. Maybe that's what confused her.
Right. Now, here's somebody that confused the hell out of us. And we should be mad at him, but we're not. Do you remember last week it was all these rumors that Paul Bettany, the guy that plays Vision, was saying
this was the best right here. This dude played everybody.
His ass was saying there's one person I've never acted with that I would love to act with, and I've never been on the screen with. So people was trying to figure out, who's he never been on screen with, and who we've never seen with. And this guy just trolled everybody, because here it is. Paul Bettany trolled WandaVision fans, admits surprise actor he touted was himself. Well, damn, Paul Bettany.
People were thinking it was Mark Hamill.
Paul Bettany, I hope you never get another job at Marvel. And I'm teasing you, my brother. I'm a big fan. I go way back. I love you, my brother. Check out that workout regimen. My man got a stiff workout regimen, if you don't know Paul Bettany off screen. But I mean, it is what it is. But then we did get him on screen with Vision. You remember, Larry, they tussled and they jostled. And like you said, the CGI wasn't all that great. But in the end, her reality made up Vision gets the real Vision and basically says, your mind and your memory has been warped. They're trying to use you for a weapon. And this Vision let the reality made up Vision touch him and then realize everything that was going down. Then he just jetted off into the sky, Larry, not to be seen. What was going through your mind during that exchange?
Oh, it just seemed like he had convinced White Vision to commit suicide. That's what
But
I
here's-
was thinking. I was like, his prime directive was to stop Vision, and he convinced dude that you're the real Vision. So at that point, dude was like, I guess I have to go and stop myself. So I kind of took it as he convinced the other dude to commit suicide.
Maybe, but I don't think that Vision, what's left of it, is dead. But we'll see. I'm interested to know if we're going to see that Vision. So one thing I really want to know was, okay, Vision, the real Vision did not have the Mind Stone. So how the hell was he shooting lasers out of his head?
Yeah, it may have been something else that they put in there besides whatever energy was coming off the Mind Stone.
Those are microchips, my man. You don't shoot laser beams out of these type of microchips. He was shooting laser beams out of an empty space where a Mind Stone was supposed to be at that he did not have. But here's the kicker, Larry. Wanda did say that a part of her being is the Mind Stone. So maybe with the energy from Stark's, I can't think of the name, from Stark's tech that they used to get him running again, maybe some of that energy has some of the Mind Stone energy in it. I don't know. But I wanted to know, how the hell was this man shooting beams and he didn't have a Mind Stone?
I mean, he was phasing too.
He was doing everything. He was doing everything. So maybe the magic that they took from Stark's device was embodied with everything Wanda had in her, and he could do it. So, hey.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right. Now, here's something I love to talk about. Mrs. Rambo. Cato, be more careful. So, we finally figured out where Mrs. Rambo is located.
Miss Rambo.
Ms. Rambo is located. The chick had been abducted by what we thought was Pietro from the Mutants MCU, when really his ass is really named Ralph, and he was enchanted by the magic of Agatha with this thing around his neck. And eventually Monica figured all that out, saw the picture, took him down, and ripped off that thing and got up out of there. Larry, what was going on when you first saw it? Now, I will admit this, Larry. When she was going from window to window, and he was using that speed, and he ran up on her and poked her, I'm thinking to myself, now this ain't right. Monica Rambeau is way more powerful than anybody with speed. And I was like, come on now. I didn't like that portrayal. I would have liked for them to have had her subdued another way. But Larry, tell me how you felt about that whole scene.
I mean, there were a couple things I found interesting. One of them I was thinking, like, because they revealed this dude to be named Ralph Bohner, we're never going to see this version of Pietro in the MCU. Nope. And I think that to me, that's funny because she was calling him Pietro. So I was like, well, he is kind of now truly like the fake Pietro because we're never going to see this version of him, you know? And so that to me, I thought was kind of funny. But, you know, the whole thing, it did sort of surprise me when he just poked her with his index finger and blasted her backwards like that. But, you know, I mean, I think one of those things is because she doesn't really understand her powers, and the more she does, the more she's being able to control them and use them. And you know, I imagine that by the time we get to Captain Marvel, you know, or Miss Marvel, or what's the new one called? What's going to be the next one? Captain Marvel, whatever the next one's going to be called. I'm assuming that she'll probably go through a period in that movie where she's really learning how to utilize her powers. Okay. Because right now I feel like she's doing it all on instinct.
Right. You know what? That's a good point. Now she showed some guts. When she figured out that he was really a Ralph Bohner enchanted by this necklace. She just said, F it. I'm going to take you down with my hand-to-hand combat. And Larry, she took his ass down. You know what I was saying to myself? If I wasn't a married guy, you could have took me down like that.
But you know, what's interesting is that they're kind of showing us that magic is nothing but energy. Because when she looked and she saw it, she looked to see, she sort of scanned him and saw that there was energy radiating off of him and saw what it was. And so really all the magic is just energy. And which tells me it's potentially she's going to be the strongest out of I mean, we know that she is anyway, sort of, but she can be the strongest out of anybody because if she can absorb people's energy, if she can absorb energy in general, and magic is nothing but energy, she should be able to absorb that and utilize it.
Well, that's what Captain Marvel does, be honest with you. I mean, Captain Marvel's got it down like that. And then as we navigate on a little further, ladies and gentlemen, we learn through Agatha going back and forth with Wanda that Wanda really and truly is controlling everybody in this whole Nexium block she's created, and she's doing it on autopilot. And Larry her control over these people is so bad, Larry, that when
Marvel, or what was the new one called?
Larry, her control is so intense. When these people go to sleep, they have her nightmares. And the people are so bent, Larry, they're just saying, look, we'd rather die than to be here under your control. And ladies and gentlemen, look who has decided to join us.
I'm here.
It's the good brother B. Avery.
Yeah.
I'm late,
man. Sorry, I'm late.
It's all good, brother. And I got a clip I got to show you, my man, just for you, just for being late.
Ooh.
I'm going to make you sit through this again.
Okay.
If you didn't cry last night, you're about to cry now, because this made me cry when I created it. Damn it. Her holding Vision dissolving face gets me every time. Just damn it, man. Just damn it. Damn it. B. Avery in the building. As we're going through these, I want to get your 2-minute synopsis on what you felt about the story. Then we'll pick back up where we're at.
Well, guys, overall, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't a perfect 10 out of a 10. But I'm sorry, guys. Am I too loud? Because I just
you're good.
Okay. No, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like a perfect 10 out of a 10. There were a couple of things that I wanted to see that I didn't get to see. But bro, this thing was badass. I mean, like I was listening. I was in the car on my way here, rushing. Swerving lane to lane, listening to y'all in the car. And Larry, I do agree with you saying that. Like you did like how this episode started. Exactly how the last one ended. I mean, that was like as soon as it started, and like they had that music, and she had her hands up like this. I started watching the show like this, like laying on my couch, and as soon as it popped off, I was like, just up her like this, you know what I'm saying? Trying to clean my glasses and just like, crank this up to 50. You know what I'm saying? When she was throwing them key blasts out there, she was getting tossed, both of them. I'm like, yes, this is badass. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I gotta be honest, but I don't know what y'all tripping on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seem like Santa didn't come deliver y'all presents at Christmas.
We explained it to you.
Y'all talking about the effects was bad. I'm like, what do you? I mean, my eyes are crap,
the special effects were terrible, man.
What are you talking about?
When two visions were fighting, that was horrible.
As far as the action is concerned, this was can I cuss?
Yeah, of course.
This shit was nice. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Are you serious? Hold on. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they be having them beam struggles in DBZ, and they had the Vision versus Vision like beam, and I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This was great. I love that. Now the action and the fighting was a 10 out of a 10 to me, and I say 9.5 out of 10. As far as the story and stuff, y'all were just talking about Ralph Bohner. That was kind of dumb. I'm like, okay, I could have got over that. I mean, like, you don't bring in the same actor from a completely different universe. Everybody gonna think it's the multiverse. You have to pay that off, and they didn't.
So CB Avery, that was my only complaint. That's why I said. It was like eating a sugar donut. Right. It satisfies my taste buds, but it does nothing to satiate my body. All the sugar on the outside and the hole in the middle. That's the part that I was upset about because you know that what Marvel fans do, we theory craft, and Marvel usually puts these Easter eggs in here to help us do that, and then they pay it off somehow, some way.
Right.
So,
right.
and by me saying what I said, I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the series, because I did say I did, and I'm not saying that I didn't like this one, because I did, but I really wanted them to pay off some of these theories by at least interjecting Doctor Strange, at least paying off some of the theories we thought would be in here. Well, we don't. When I say pay it off, I want to see his ass. I want to see him pop up. I mean, I know she's gonna be in his next movie. Everybody knows that, but we wanted to see him pop up, or someone who's going to be a part of either. And the Skrulls don't count, so they don't count. Someone who's going to be either a big role in Captain Marvel 2 or in Doctor Strange 2. But that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. Like I said, I still like donuts, even though they don't do nothing for the body, but make you fat as fuck. So that's why I use that analogy.
Well, my thing is, like, I do agree with you as far as the Doctor Strange. The only thing that was I don't disappoint. I got to find another word. Well, no, I'll use disappointed. Is when it comes to Doctor Strange, like, let me back up. We've been everybody on the internet been doing fan theories, talking about Nightmare gonna show up. Mephisto, Blue Marvel, Sithon. You know, I can go down the list. I'm not tripping that none of those people popped up. It would have been nice, it would have been cool, but I'm really not tripping on that. But I am tripping at the fact that Doctor Strange did not show up in some capacity, because for one, they mentioned him and it just makes sense story-wise. All those other theory, Blue Marvel and all them, that would have been cool, but that would have been shoehorned in. But you know, just from the previous episodes, like Agatha's whole motivation, she was saying that, okay, I was over here chilling in the cut, minding my own business, and then boom, out of nowhere, it was a big explosion of magic, and I sensed this, and I had to know, how the hell is this going on? And I think it's safe to say that Doctor Strange is stronger than, I mean, Agatha is strong as hell. We know that. You know, she's been in the game for at least a few hundred years.
But
and
she's
Doctor
not
Strange,
the sorcerer. She's not the sorcerer supreme.
Right. She's not the sorcerer supreme. Doctor Strange is stronger than her. So if she's able to sense it, the powers, he should have been able to sense it too, especially with her growing up there, creating her own little runes and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all got to that part. I'm like, okay, Doctor Strange better pop up right now, you know, and he didn't.
He's
so
probably
that was
busy though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead and give the MCU a pass, because when we see his movie, if they give a valid reason why he was not there, you know, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna trip. I can be a patient fan. I'm not one of these, you know, people that just are privileged and just, you know, with these just silly expectations, just entitled. Like, I want everything now. No, I can wait. But that was really just the only thing that was disappointing to me. But man, I just action and story. I think the Doctor Strange thing, I mean, I could have wanted a little, they could have gave us just maybe a little bit more action. But the one of the things I absolutely love, and I know I'm going way over 2 minutes, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
One of the things I love, man, that didn't have anything to do with action is when Wanda first went to the town, and all the, you know, she first Agatha was up there on the top, and Dottie, I think her real name was Sarah. I could be mistaken. She was like, "Oh, you're making her say this." She was like, "No, these are your meat puppets. All I did is cut the string." I mean, this was such an important scene right here, because they were truly in pain, and this scene right here just really revealed, like, no, Wanda, you are clearly, without a doubt, 100% the villain. You know, you're holding these people hostage, and they are begging, like, look, I have a daughter, and look, I'll even work with you. My daughter can play with your son, or your son can play with my daughters, but please just at least let me just hold my daughter, please. You know, you can keep me hostage, just let me get to my daughter. Can she come out of her room? I'm like, this is crazy, and Wanda's a freaking nut. She's like, no, y'all will be okay. You know, you're fine. I have it. And the older woman off the 70s show, she was like, look, if you're not gonna let us free, just let us die. I was like, damn, this is some real ass shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Wanda is crazy as hell. She's like, how the hell can you try to negotiate with other people? Like, please let me keep you hostage. I have never seen that in any type of entertainment ever. Not just a comic book, just in any type of TV show, movie ever. I've never seen a bad guy try to negotiate with the hostage takers. Like, look, it's not that bad. You know, so for Marvel to take it that far, I'm sitting here, man. I was eating popcorn, air popcorn. I ain't even had no popcorn. I'm doing this right here.
Hey, man,
this shit was incredible.
That's called reverse Stockholm syndrome. Reverse Stockholm syndrome for witches. That's what it's called,
bro. I mean, I can keep going, but I'll let you. I don't want to go
out
all over the place.
When they did all that, BAV, I didn't look at Wanda as the villain because I feel like in order to be the villain,
no,
hear me out. I feel like in order to be the villain, you have to intentionally want to hurt those people. I don't think that Wanda was trying to intentionally inflict any pain on these people. Like, they may have been in pain, but it was a side effect of Wanda creating this reality.
No.
I don't think Wanda wanted those people in pain necessarily. It wasn't that wasn't her intention to cause them pain. It just was something that happened as a consequence of her doing what she was doing. And so I think in order to be a villain, you have to really have evil intentions. And I don't feel like she had evil intentions.
Bro, she didn't have that. Doesn't matter, man. I mean, look, manslaughter. No, bro. Like you heard of that show Snapped? You know, I mean, everybody have. You know, you still committed the murder. Now, and I do agree with you as far as like initially. We all know this is obvious. She didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. Right. It was. She was just expressing her anger, as we all do. She just happened to have powers. But when Wanda. Not Wanda, but when Monica showed up in, I think it was either episode 7 or 8, I can't remember exactly. And she was like, Wanda, you got to take it down. She was like, no, I'm not taking it down. When Agatha was coming over there cock blocking and took one, like, remember when Monica first showed up and then Agatha came, she was looking, I think this was episode 7 or 8, but Agatha was looking through the window, was like, damn. And so she went over there and took Wanda away. That was selfish of her right there. Just like, she didn't want to take it down. She didn't want to take it down. And so I just, you're whatever, she's villain or not. I mean, intentions or not, in my opinion.
So let me ask you.
She was still the villain. So
let me ask you, is Monica Rambeau a villain? Is she evil?
How would she be evil?
Well, because she said at the end, if I had your powers, I would have brought my mother back too. I wouldn't have thought she was like, I would have done the same thing. So does she then also have evil? Did she also have evil intentions?
She said she would have brought back her mom. She didn't say she would have held 3,000 people hostage.
Well, all this was just in order to bring back Vision.
No. If she brought back her mom, if Monica brought back her mom, who is Monica hurting?
I don't know. Maybe she has to create. Maybe she has to create an entire, hex around all of what Monica's mom's world would be in order to make that work out. I don't know.
And she would be wrong if she did that. She would be wrong if she done that.
Look at how the episode ended. Wanda went into the mountains in the shack. She could have created a hex over there with nobody there, and she could have had Vision and her little boys in there by herself in the mountains. Mm-hmm. And it would have been nothing wrong with that because she could have. But
that's not where Vision bought their home.
It don't matter,
bro. It don't matter, man.
It don't matter.
It is because she was trying to create the home. She was trying to create the home and the family that
it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah. She could have done this without having to involve other people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it like this.
I disagree.
When someone walks around in a store and don't want to wear a damn mask, they're evil. They know getting damn well the consequences.
I disagree, homeboy. I don't think I do not think that Wanda was the villain or a villain. I think Wanda was someone who was out of control, who did some bad things and hurt some people because she was out of control. That's like, if you want to call Wanda a villain, then you have to call the Phoenix a villain. You have to say
she was a villain. She was a villain.
Yeah.
She was a villain.
She was not a villain.
Oh my,
bro! It don't matter. These are
misunderstood and had way more power than she could control.
Killmonger was misunderstood.
Killmonger was not a villain. Take that back.
It does not matter.
Take that back. No. Killmonger was not a villain.
I know. I said he was misunderstood. I don't consider him a villain either. That's my boy. You know, hell, man.
See?
I didn't say nothing about no Wakanda. I just said that's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
He's the rightful ruler of Wakanda.
Larry, these are grown men and women. These are grown
Yeah.
men and women. It don't matter if you have if everybody has their moments where they just lose control, but you're still a grown adult and have to take care of your responsibilities. Okay, I agree with you. Initially, she didn't mean to do it, but she had the power to let these people go. I mean, these people was willing to die. I mean, willing to die, bro.
And here we are when she finally decided to let it go. And what was the consequence of her letting it go, Larry and B. Avery? She started to lose everything she had created. And what did she do after that? Immediately, she quit. She stopped. And at this point, you know, all the sweet arguments Larry made, oh, she's not evil. You could have made that argument in a court of law up until this point. And at this point, when she saw her sweetie pie and her family about to disappear, she said, F it. I'm going to keep y'all people trapped in here.
That was another great scene right there, too.
This whole, you know, season took place over the course of what, like 2 weeks? I mean, the last 3 episodes happened over the course of a day, you know? So my point is, it's not like she was leaving these. It's not like she was going through this and leaving these people in all this pain and grief for months or years. She was coming to the realization of what was happening in a very short period of time. It's like if someone tells you in the morning what you're doing is evil, and by the evening time you set them all free. I'm not going to say you're evil because you didn't do it by lunch.
Larry, I love you, my brother, but I'm really baffled that you are trying to save a hostage taker here, man. You know, that's just. I
don't think she was evil.
At the end of the day, B. Avery, somebody's got to be the adversary on my show. I can't be the good guy all the time.
How about I rephrase it? I won't. Did I say I didn't say she was evil. She was the villain. She was the bad guy.
I didn't realize I was the adversary. I thought I was the voice of reason.
No. Yeah. We typically don't have a voice of reason on this show.
I won't call her evil. But because evil, you do have to have a malicious intent.
Exactly.
Right. So she's not evil, but she still is the bad guy. She still is the villain.
She was playing the role of a villain in this story.
Yes.
Neither one of us ever said evil. We said villain.
So who was the good guy?
And if I did say evil, I'll take it back. So
who was the good guy?
A good guy?
Who was the good guy in here?
The made up Vision.
Yes, Monica. I may even say Agatha.
Huh? Agatha was a good guy?
Agatha was a good guy?
I say neutral. Who?
What?
I say she's neutral. I won't say that Agatha is good or bad.
No. Agatha's a villain too. No. Agatha's a villain.
The worst of the worst. I'll tell you why Agatha's the worst of the worst. Because Monica, for a while, for what, the first 6 episodes or something, Wanda didn't really know what was going on. Agatha knew the whole time what was happening and had the ability to stop it, and she didn't.
No, she didn't. Because that was the point of her sending Pietro over there, because she was trying to investigate the ears and the eyes, saying like, how are you doing this? All Agatha wanted was the power. That's all she wanted. That's all she wanted was the power. She was like, look, you ever heard making breakfast for dinner? And you know what I'm saying? You are Nexus being, and you ever heard making breakfast for dinner? You know what I'm saying? That's like throwing away a Tesla because you got a flat tire. You know what I'm saying? It's just like mismanagement.
But B. Avery, even though all you want is the power, the method in which you go to get the power can be done in a villainous way. Think about how Thanos went about to get the Power Stone. It was a villainous way. He took out Vision, for crying out loud. And the way Agatha was willing to sacrifice Wanda, take her kids hostage, hold her kids by the neck, that's child abuse, to get this woman's powers, she was a villain.
Those kids
now, what else was
Thanos
going to do? Was he going to put all of Vision in his glove? What was he going to put all of Vision? I mean, I thought we already worked this out, that Thanos was simply an environmentalist trying to save the universe from itself.
You trolling.
From overpopulation.
Can we get back on mission?
Yeah, go ahead.
So now we've got this battle going on between
Badass.
Agatha and Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
And when you first see the scene, you're thinking to yourself, Wanda, you know good and damn well every time you throw some of your magic at this woman, she's soaking it up.
Right.
And I should have been a little bit more smarter myself into knowing, because I'm thinking, okay, Doctor Strange about to pop up and save her. Something's about to happen to save her because she's about to die. Lo and behold, fellas, she used that same enchantment. She learns quickly that Agatha had used in her basement. Larry, what was going through your mind when you saw this scene first? Then B. Avery will swing it to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I knew she was doing something. I wasn't quite sure what it was because I noticed every time she would, right after she would throw a little bit at Agnes, she would throw and hit the hex, and I was like, she's doing something. I don't know what it is, but she's doing something. Like I wasn't sure if she was throwing it at the hex to try and maybe make a hole in the hex and then kick Wanda out. I mean, then kick Agnes out and then lock it back down. Or so I wasn't sure what she was doing, but I was like, she's doing something. And then when I realized that that rune was there and Agnes couldn't use her powers, I was like, okay, that was dope. You know?
Mm-hmm. B. Avery, what was your thoughts on this scene?
This scene right here was just badass beautiful. I mean, it was such wonderful shots. I love the scope. I love the effects. I mean, besides the Infinity Gauntlet, you know, we haven't had this much display of power in the MCU to date, and I think I could be wrong, but it's just kind of taking things to the next level. The only thing that my only complaint with this scene here, I just didn't really buy that she was able to learn that technique so fast, because she didn't read any books.
No, she didn't need to learn. No, that's the whole point. She doesn't need to learn. She just needs to feel it.
Well, I mean,
to some degree, but I think B. Avery with this particular the ruins. She didn't have to per se learn that. She could just see it and memorize it. Because basically, and I should have brought the clip from last episode, but these drawings are the same thing that was in Agatha's house.
Right. Talking about in purple.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, because my on that same note, Brandon, I was wondering, how did Wanda know that enchantment to bring Agatha back to her? You know, that memory spell that she did to bring her back to where she was before, with the where she was at the getting burned alive, or not getting burned alive, but they with all the other witches in her coven.
Oh yeah, yeah. Talking about what Wanda was doing, like what she was doing, the Age of Ultron, putting the powers in people's head.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that, bro. I really didn't.
Remember, she went right behind Agatha, waved her little fingers, got in her head the same way she was in the head of Tony Stark from Age of Ultron. Yeah. And whatever happened, and I love that scene too, man, because it looked like Wanda was about to just dominate Agatha at that point, and then all of a sudden Agatha winds up cornering her, having them scream at Wanda, "You're the Scarlet Witch! You're the Scarlet Witch!" And then
harbinger of chaos.
Yeah, man. Right. And then we wind up in. And Wanda gave her all the damn chaos she could handle. I love this part, man.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was
I'm sorry. I was gonna say when it comes to these powers and spells, me as a fan, what I would personally want, I don't care who it is, whether it's Doctor Strange, Agatha, or Wanda. I don't want people just to be doing powers, I want them to have to like learn how to do it, you know, like study and train, you know, like. If they just, you know, able to create a galaxy or universe from snapping their fingers, I think that would be a little boring. I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe that's what they did in the comics, but I like, because she was like, there's rules to the spells and to the magic. All I'm saying is I like that there's rules. I don't want it just to be, you know, complete open field and you can just do whatever you want. I know that's kind of how Scarlet Witch's powers are. I just want them to build to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to rush to it. I just want them to build to it.
The post-credit scene looked like they're building her to that point.
No,
like her studying is what made me happy. Go ahead.
Now here's something that got me right. When they're up there, when both of them are in the sky, and Agnes is taking her magic from her. My thought is like she's saying, she was like, give it all to me. I want more. There's more. And then she finally thinks she has it all. I'm like, you know, you didn't take it all, because otherwise how's she still flying? How's she still in the air without any magic? You know she
Right.
still has some magic.
Right. I thought about that too. Like, come
You
on,
know?
Agatha. You had to be better than that.
But that's why she asked for more though. She was like, "Give me."
No,
I
but
want them.
but she thought she had taken it all,
Right.
and then she tried to use her magic, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But she should have known that Wanda still had magic because she was still up in the air. If she didn't have any more magic, she couldn't fly. She'd be on the ground. She'd be tumbling to the ground.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. Good point. But I kind of think that at that point, Agatha was like, I have enough, or I have all that I need. You know, like, you know, my gauge reader or my health bar, power bar is at the level I want. You know, kind of like, you know, platform fighting games.
Sounds
You know,
to me
when you
like she
build
needs
up
to level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get an extra health bar.
Now, after Wanda took those powers back, did y'all like her new outfit?
I did.
She transformed into her new outfit. Then she floated on down here and she put a spell on Agatha and turned Agatha back into the nosy next door neighbor. B. Avery, how did you like the outfit and how did you like this end to Agatha in the series?
I love the outfit. That head nod tilt right there is a little weird to me. But
Hey.
I really like the outfit. But man, Agatha ain't going nowhere. She gonna be able to break this spell somehow, man.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah, she just too, because like Larry, when you were saying when they went back to Salem in 1693, she was like, Wanda, power is not the issue. It's just you don't have the knowledge, you know. And so Agatha has, she could be thousands of years old, but we know she's at least a few hundred years old. So she's been studying for a long ass time. So she got some tricks up her sleeve, and yeah, she gonna be back. She gonna be back, definitely. You know, 100%.
Larry, how was you feeling during this exchange right here when she turned her back into the nosy neighbor?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, I mean, I guess it's good for that moment in some sense, but part of me felt like she did that to her and created her as a nosy neighbor inside the hex, and then she destroyed the hex. So it's kind of like, what, did she just destroy that magic? Did she take that magic away too from her so that when the hex is gone, she's no longer the nosy neighbor, she's back to being Agnes, you know, or Agatha Harkness? I mean, it seemed like that part was a little unclear, but I mean, one thing I was definitely certain is that she'll be back. It's not, I don't even think that's an issue for anyone. I think she'll be back. Mm-hmm. But as far as Wanda's outfit, I like the styling of the outfit. I didn't like the color. The color looks more purple than red to me. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it a brighter red, like a more fire engine type red. And that looks more purple to me.
Well, I can
see, look at it. It looks more purple than it does red.
More of a burgundy, you know.
Yeah, more of a burgundy. But you know what? I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too.
As long as
I like the styling, though. I like the styling.
Right. As long as they're gonna let this chick wig out, man, I'm gonna be good with it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna bring us to the next part of this thing, man, because it was a lot to absorb.
Oh, yeah.
Be sure to subscribe to all three of our channels. Links is in the video description. We've had 60-some people in this thing. Hit that like button. And you can super chat too. You can super chat too.
I feel like we have to point out when we were talking about Agatha and she was saying we're going to see her again. She did. I mean, they made it clear to us that we're going to see her again when she said, "You don't do this to me. You're going to need me." And Wanda said, "If I need you, I know where to find you." It was almost like saying, "I'll be back. I'm going to read this book, and there's going to be something I don't get, and then I'm going to need to come holler at you."
And it's B. Avery. This should be scary to everybody. She's already said that she's more powerful, the Scarlet Witch is, than the Sorcerer Supreme. And she's saying this before she even reads this book. And the fact that Wanda will, as a matter of fact, I'm going to say that for when we get to it. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I have a little, I have an issue with that. Not with what you said, but something happened in the episode. But
okay, I can't wait to hear that. So here's the next phase. So now that, Wanda has taken out Agatha and she realizes that what she's doing is wrong. She's about to go ahead and let the hex close. So they go through a series of showing them putting the kids to bed, kids dissolving. Basically, the hex closes around them.
Beautiful scene.
Beautiful scene. This scene right here was really nice. She asked Vision. Vision asked her a few more questions before he disappeared, got his answers. And then you see Vision just basically melting away. Larry, I'm gonna go to you first. How did you feel about this scene and the way that they got rid of Vision and the kids?
I thought it was interesting with the kids when she said, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mom," and I thought that was interesting that that she felt that it was a choice that they made, and so to me it seems like it's a little bit of foreshadowing that the kids will be coming back from other parents, but they're going to choose her as their mom, So, but with them getting rid of Vision like this, it seemed like Vision very much had like even what did he call him? Conditional Vision had very much like was in command of his emotions, because he seemed very sad and aware that he was leaving, and he was still sort of that he still had that sort of I don't want to call it mechanical, but sort of synthetic logic to him, where the whole we've said goodbye before, so it makes sense that we might say, and she says hello again, finishes the sentence. So I mean it seemed like it was a good mix of that sort of man and machine together. So it was cool. Other than that, I mean, we all knew what was happening. So I mean, I know some people were talking about they were crying and whatnot.
What?
I didn't get the boo-hoos on that.
What? B Avery, how did you feel? Now I will say this: I did like that they let him dissolve. As he's dissolving, he's going back to the same colors that he was created under. If you guys can remember, when they put Jarvis into Vision, Jarvis was this yellow color, and Vision is dissolving from her reality back into the color of Jarvis and the Mind Stone. But go ahead, B. Avery.
Well, it's the same color that when she created him, when they showed her creating him, and they showed all of her red magic around her, and then all that Mind Stone magic coming off of her into him to create him. It's that same color.
Yep.
That was funny. And I forgot what was funny. It just slipped my mind. Oh, you saying somebody crying. I didn't cry, but no, this was an amazing scene. They capped this off absolutely perfect. I couldn't think of a better way. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And this image you have up right here, I'm gonna be honest with you. This made me also think about the Titanic, when the ship was going down, and the less fortunate people were struggling to get up top. Right. And the white lady had her kids, and she was like, "F it, man," and she went back to the room and just put them to bed. I was like, hey, everything's gonna be okay, but it really wasn't. They was gonna wake up dead. Well, we can't wake up dead, but you get what I'm trying to say. This kind of reminded me of that. But another thing.
Good point.
Yeah, another thing that I really liked about it is when they went downstairs. The line that Vision gave, saying like, "Oh, hey, I heard it's bad luck to say
goodbye in the dark."
Yeah, and Wanda was like, "No, you're lying," and he was like, one of them was like, "Yeah, you just want to. I just wanted to see you," and I thought that was beautiful, which led us to this scene right here. But even before that, as the hex is closing in, getting smaller and smaller, we get a first-person viewer shot of the hex, like we're the hex, and it went through the window. I just thought that was just, beautiful cinematography, beautiful camera angles and shots and all that. I love that, it was just a perfect way to display how their world, their fake reality is coming to an end in a sad, tragic way. And right as he was, bowing out right here, I think he was like, goodbye, my darling, or farewell, darling. I mean, it was a beautiful, dramatic scene. The majority of the episode was action and key blasts and stuff, and this was just a really nice, subtle way to close it all out. So yeah, just great writing overall, in my opinion.
Did like that myself. Now here we go to the next scene. Now some of this had some questions for me. So after all that went down, fellas, Wanda was able to walk back past all those people, walk up to Monica. They had the conversation. If it was me, I would have brought my mama back, all that. Why the hell they didn't arrest Wanda? Were they afraid of Wanda? And instead of focusing on why they just letting Wanda fly away, I guess they feel like ain't nobody powerful enough to deal with her. Right. They showed this punk ass right here, who he was a villain, but I did not like the way they did him. I wanted something more. I don't feel like he gave anything to the story, really. I mean, he was a smarmy villain. He really didn't do nothing. Of course, he shot Monica, and we got to see a little bit more of her powers. But what did you feel on this scene right here, Larry, when Wanda basically flew away scot-free, and they arrested one of the worst villain roles I can think of in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, when Hayward got arrested, I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's sort of like there's always going to be another Hayward.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of inconsequential in a lot of ways. It's like there's always going to be another one of him. And, as far as letting Wanda fly away, it's kind of like, okay, what are you going to do? It's sort of like if Mike Tyson walks into a club and beats everybody up and then drinks your liquor and then is like, all right, I'm out. What are you going to do? You going to stand up and say you're under arrest? You're going to try and place him under citizen's arrest? You're just going to be like, well, damn, be gone then. I mean, there's really nothing you could do.
No,
I mean,
there is something you could do. You can call in the Avengers.
Yeah, I feel like they would have already have done that. I feel like they would have already have done that.
Okay.
They should have done that after episode 1 or 2 or something. But I feel like in that moment when you had B. Avery dipped out. In that moment when you had Monica and Wanda talking, and they came to some sort of, it was just sort of some sort of just general consensus. And I think in that moment, I think Wanda got to see the true Monica and to say, hey, you really don't hate me. Because she asked her, do you hate me? And she was like, nah, if I had the opportunity, I would have brought back my mom. If I had the opportunity in your power, I would have brought back my mom. And I think, and that was Monica's whole thing in this. She was like, I'm just trying to reach her. I think she's just in pain and grieving. I'm just trying to get through and just, and just holler at my girl. And I think in that moment, I think that Wanda found an ally. She found a true ally. And I'm assuming that later on, she's going to come back to that.
Gotcha. B. Avery, what was your thoughts on this scene?
I honestly am a bit conflicted. I partially do agree with you, Larry, as far as like what you can do. I mean, she created a fake reality and held all your hostage. So talking shit is probably not the best idea. I'm just not going to talk shit to somebody that can take over my mind, with the flick of a wrist. However, I'm conflicted. So I do agree with you as far as that's concerned, Larry. But what is weird to me is they looked like they felt sorry for her. Like while I'm not gonna go up and try to punch her in the face, I'm not finna just sit there and smile at her either. I'm gonna get the F out of there. Like if I see Wanda, I'm going in the opposite direction. And so it would have made more sense to me if they was afraid of her. Because even if we would talk about cancel culture, but consequence culture, what are the consequences of Wanda's actions? It seems like she's getting, away scot-free. And that is a gripe that I have about this episode. I thought that all of the townspeople should be afraid of her. At this one point in time, 3,000 plus people or however many people she had under her wheel, under her control, is just like, man, this Wanda person over here is dangerous. This is what she did. She held us against our will. Like, I don't know how I feel about all these people with powers now, because what if they turn to the dark side? Yeah, we got some good Avengers, but what if they end up like Wanda, and because they don't get their way, they do something like this again? So it would have made more sense to me if, the townspeople were more afraid of her and like what she was capable of and what she may do in the future. But it just kind of seemed like they was trying to embrace her, and that just seemed a little weak.
What was interesting about that, B. Avery, is that I think that you said that they seemed like they almost felt sorry for it, and I'm not going to say that they didn't. I think that a lot of people, even though when people do things to hurt you or hurt other people because they're in grief, I think anybody who's experienced profound levels of grief can empathize with that. And as much as you don't like what that person's done, you may be able to understand where that person's coming from. Because I think all of us who have experienced profound grief have thought about doing terrible things, and we don't. Some people do the terrible things, other people don't. But I think that for all of us, like I've experienced grief. There's been times where I've just gone into a room and just screamed my lungs out. But if I had superpowers and I went and screamed my lungs out, and all of a sudden by doing so, I created an alternate universe, or alternate, reality, that would be a little bit of a different situation. And so I think that they may have sympathized with her a little bit or empathized with her maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they didn't see. I mean, it's the love of her life was Vision. She had to watch the dude die 3 times. I mean, first she killed him, and then boom, Thanos just brought him right back to life and then killed him again right in front of her. And then she brought him back there, and now she had to sit there and hold him in his hands while he disappeared a 3rd time. It was like, I have to die in front of her.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Larry, them people felt that. They was like, every time they go to sleep, her nightmares of those things you just mentioned, they was feeling that pain and grief.
And that's probably why they had some sort of empathy for it. They were probably angry that they had to experience that, but because they understood the profound level of grief that she was feeling, imagine if you were able to empathize with your neighbors or your friends or your wife when they were going through something painful. Imagine how much more you can understand them and possibly empathize with them in that moment of their grief.
I mean, maybe, but not if I'm being held hostage against my will.
Thank you.
It'd be different if I'm doing it on my free will, but not if you're holding me hostage. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Larry. But we, like you said, we all go through grief. There's been times where I scream my lungs out in my apartment too. But no matter what amount of grief you go through, it doesn't give you the excuse to do whatever you want. And that's what she did here. Even if in the beginning it was an accident. They were trying to bargain with her, and she was like, "No, y'all are going to be okay." That is just selfish, in my opinion.
No, I'm not. I'm not excusing it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying I think that when you were saying that it seemed like they were sort of empathizing with her. I can understand why they might be doing that.
So you're happy with the way it played out? This scene here, you don't think it would have been better if they were like afraid of her and like ran away, like, "Oh my God, it's the Scarlet Witch. We got to run. She may do it again." And not even like do it again on purpose. Like, look, I hear you, Wanda, but you may do this again on accident, and I don't want to be around you for that. Like, more power to you, but I just don't want to be around you. No, I'm not saying I'm happy with that, but I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. If that had happened to me, and the walls went down. I mean, because remember she had let the walls down, and then these people had gone and changed their clothes and came back. Yeah, that was a little weird. I would have been gone when she said go. When she said go, I would have been like, if she said go, I would have been if they were in New Jersey, I would have been Chicago by then. I'd have been hanging out with E-Man or something. I would not have been anywhere near New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, now, fellas, I'm gonna get us to some of the post credits. It was 2 of them. So the very first one was basically for a push for Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel. So they had one of the CIA agents pop up that wound up being a scroll, and says someone above us wants to talk to you, fellas. That can only be one of 2 people. Now I want to know which one of these 2 people you think it is. Is it Captain Marvel or is it Nick Fury? Who is the person above that wants to meet Monica? B. Avery, you first.
Nick Fury.
That's what
I do agree with you. It's either one of those 2 people, but Nick Fury.
Larry, who you got your eyes on? Captain Marvel or Nick Fury?
Yeah, I think it's Nick Fury because I feel like if it was Captain Marvel, she just would have came and got her anyways.
But Nick Fury could have done that too.
Yeah, it would have been easier for Captain Marvel. She just would have dipped down and been like, "Yo, let me holler at you."
Okay.
And the reason why I'm leaning towards Nick Fury is when the scroll here, we don't know her name, said that I think she said he wants to meet you. I don't I don't think she said she. I think she said he. Like Monica smiled. And we know from episode 4 or 5 that Monica feels some type of way about Captain Marvel. So I don't think she would go from feeling some type of way about her,
right?
Like, let's move on, to smile like, oh, Captain Marvel wants to see me. So I'm leaning more towards Nick Fury. But before we go, there is a comment I have to talk about with Monica, but I'll say that for the end.
No, go ahead. If it fits now, go for it.
Well, I don't think it fits. I don't think it. I don't want to go too far off topic.
Okay, cool. So we all in agreement. Scroll is talking about Nick Fury.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely. Okay. So then we move on to the very last credit scene where we find Wanda detached from her spiritual self, out here drinking coffee in her little cabin, while her spiritual self is in here reading the Darkhold, the Book of Magic. Now, what some people might not notice is that in Doctor Strange, when he detaches from his spiritual self, his physical body can't do anything. He ain't that powerful. But as you can clearly see, Wanda got her spiritual self in there learning the book while she's out here and her body is eating and drinking and doing whatever the hell she wants to do. And she's learning what the hell is in that Darkhold book. And fellas, I'm a little concerned. Larry, I give it to you first. What was going through your mind when you saw this breakdown of this post-credit scene?
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, yo, that is that. Well, first of all, it took me just a second to put all the technical BSery of that scene aside, because it bothered me the way they set that scene up with that shaky ass drone. It was just, I was like, they should have just spent the money for some CGI and just went in smooth with it. If you guys didn't notice it, go back and watch that scene. It's like the drone is all shaky, it's windy. I was like, come on, Disney. I was like, it bothered me. I was like, they should have done a nice CGI, come down in there, and somebody, once they got to the porch, they could have had somebody with a steady cam walk through that shot. And instead, they just cheaped out on it.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, when I saw this, I was like, all right, this is really cool. And then you hear the kids in the background talking about mommy, help, and so I'm like, okay, it left you sort of wondering, like, is she just absorbing knowledge or is she actively trying to get her kids? And
I'm gonna tell you the interpretation I got, fellas, from that. We have sat here and we have theory craft the whole season. And we know that there is one villain who needs sacrifices to come to this planet. And that's the one that both of you gentlemen thought would be the one we would see, which is Mephisto. And so when I heard those children in the background talking, all I could think of was Mephisto and the children being sacrificed by him because they are his shards, and the other person who is the god of chaos magic, which is Sithon. Those were the only two people I could think of when I heard those kids somewhere roaming around. You can hear their voices still out there.
Right on.
So, Beaver, what you thinking?
Well. First, I agree with half of what you said, and I agree with what you said just now towards the end. But the beginning of this, I do disagree, respectfully. And Larry, your point about the camera was funny. The part I do agree with is, yes, I was thinking about Sithon or Mephisto. However, I disagree with the comparison to Doctor Strange as far as the spirit part of the body coming out, because you were saying that he is not able to move. I just think that was a consequence of the circumstances that Doctor Strange was not able to move when his spiritual part of it, his spiritual essence came out of his physical body. Because in his movie, I think that the first time we saw it, I think he was just trying to get some sleep. I think he was just trying to multitask and sleep and study at the same time. And then here, I think that he was impaled. He was in shock or passed out. So I mean, just me personally, I think he can do it as well. Have his physical body doing something in a conscious state while his spiritual body can do something on another plane. I could be wrong with that, but that's just what I'm thinking so far. Yeah, as far as the I just spoke about the Mephisto thing. I like the fact that she's studying the book, because like I was saying earlier, I want her to learn. I don't want her just to be able to just do stuff like this. I want to lead. I want to get to that. I like the fact that there's rules and you have to study to learn this stuff. And so, I'm cool with that. And it seemed like she was reading the book backwards, but I guess in magic school, they go from right to left and not left. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
The pages were going the other, the opposite way that we flipped them.
Right.
Maybe it was written in Arabic or Hebrew or something.
Right. That's an ugly book.
Ancient
Man.
Aramaic.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a cool scene. She should have went out there. Well, there was no house out there, but yeah, that's how I feel about that. And it looks badass too. It looks badass.
Man. So, fellas, in round table, bring this thing full circle. What's going to happen with Wanda and Doctor Strange? Because another thing that Wanda is able to do that Doctor Strange doesn't do. For most of his powerful spells, he's got to state it with words and conjure it up and do all this crap that he's doing right here. All Wanda got to do is think it. Boom, it happens. So where are we going to go with Wanda in the Doctor Strange movie? I'll give it to you first, B. Avery.
Man, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that maybe because when Wanda was up there fighting Agatha was like, look, you created this spell here, this big hex, but you did it wrong. It's broken, broken just like you. So to me, that implies that Agatha maybe knows a way that it could have done. You could have done it better. And she said once this is fixed, once it's cash, you can't fix it. And so I'm thinking that maybe somehow since she was doing it incorrectly, that messed up something with the multiverse or another dimension or something, and Doctor Strange may have to come and save the day. Maybe all the magic that Wanda was using let some of the demon people from other realms or whoever it may be have access to our reality. Right. And Doctor Strange has to come and clean up the mess. Look now, even if you are more powerful than me, there's a level of responsibility that comes with your power. You can't just be out here willy-nilly casting spells and stuff, because while you are strong, my sister, there are people stronger than you still, and so we can't be, and I don't think Wanda can beat the living tribunal.
She can't beat Sithon. He's the god of the chaos magic. It'd be like Odin versus Thor. It'd be like Sithon versus Wanda would be like Odin versus Thor.
So Sithon is much more stronger than Wanda.
Oh yeah, he's the god of the chaos magic.
Okay.
In order to get him, you've got to conjure it up and use that book and all. Yeah, this dude is he's something, man. He's something. I mean,
I gotta look him up.
Yeah, man. He next level. But Mephisto tough too, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Larry. Where you think we're gonna go? Larry, I'll pose a different question to you because I like where B. Avery went. So Larry, I'm gonna now pose the question to you. After seeing where they took the mid credit, where are we going to be going into Captain Marvel 2? Because they showed us a little bit of Monica's powers. Right. Old punk ass Hayward shot her. She slowed down the bullets, and then they showed us her light energy right here. So where do you think we're going with Monica Rambeau in the new Captain Marvel story?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out, because it looks like she didn't just slow down that bullet. She transformed her body into energy and let that thing pass through her like that. Yeah. So because she became like translucent in that moment.
She sure did.
It was that was pretty cool. I mean, I know we're going to see another Captain Marvel movie with Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel and there's going to be 4 of them in there. So I mean, it'll be fun. I mean, Captain Marvel wasn't my favorite, so I hope the next one's going to be better.
Any thoughts on it, B. Avery? How you feel about this Monica Rambeau and what she'll be doing in the new Captain Marvel?
So you know how maybe 10 minutes ago I was saying I wanted to talk about Monica?
Yes, sir.
This is the exact scene that I was talking about.
Oh,
to be honest with y'all, this pissed me off.
Oh,
this pissed me off.
Tell me why you're mad.
I have a sense of the Hollywood agenda with Black people in this scene right here. So first of all, I mean, it was a cool scene as far as the powers being displayed, But I've talked about this earlier, I think on your show and even in mine, of like Monica's like a Captain Save a Hoe or something like that. I'm tired of black people sacrificing themselves for white people.
Or white children. White children in particular.
I'm just pissed off about that. I don't like it. It's just like, black, we always have to sacrifice ourselves for someone else. Now, I would be perfectly fine with it if she knew that she was going to survive, or she knew that, hey, because I have these abilities, these bullets are not going to phase me. But there's just no way in hell that she would know that. And
no way.
Let me just step. This is just the feelings and thoughts that I was having while I was watching this particular scene. So I want to share it with you guys and the audience. This also made me think about the Disney movie Soul that's on Disney Plus. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
So if you haven't seen Soul, I'm going to spoil it for you. So I'm sorry. But towards the end of the movie, Jamie Foxx had to sacrifice himself for the white lady in that movie too. And he did not know that he ended up living, but he didn't know that he was going to do it. He was like, oh, well, I lived my life. I guess little white lady, you can live yours. I'm going to give my soul to you, or and I'm tired of that shit. I just am. I just I don't like this black people. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the tinfoil kufi. I don't care. But I just don't like that it just seems like black people, we always have to sacrifice ourselves so that the white person can get by. I'm off my soapbox.
Hey, it's all good.
You're trying to say it sounds to me like you don't like the Magic Negroes.
Hey, not really. Whitney Trevor said I hated soul. The Magic Negroes, that's a thing. It was a cool display of power, but it's just like, come on now.
If anything, I would have liked to have seen them allow her to use her power to take the bullets, take the gun, and all that, and then beat up Hayward personally. That would have been a more fitting defeat for him than for it to go the way that this went. Because I just don't. He was such a bitch.
That's the way you said it.
I'm just trying to keep that thing real.
I felt
man.
that.
Like, he was, and what do you do with a bitch? You bitch slap him. They could have let Monica went up there and pimped him. Poop, poop, poop. That's what I would have done. I don't know why Marvel didn't do it that way, but it's their thing. I'm still satisfied, but I'm with you, B. Avery. I kind of felt some way. That's why I saved this for last.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
I didn't like that, man.
It was like,
I want to see a movie with her and Luke Cage, and they can hook up.
Oh, here we go.
Kid.
Here we go.
They'll have a baby. They'll name the baby Brandon Lamont Marvel, and the nickname will be called BLM. And the baby will have superpowers of unknown and uncontrollable powers. Just be able to do whatever it wants to.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and say this, man. Like, you crazy, Larry. You crazy. But Monica, what's her real name? Tiana Parrish. She was my celebrity crush, man. But I just realized about a week or two ago, they play that she did. That was her that did that a couple of years ago. I don't know if y'all know about that slave play. So that makes me look at her completely. She was in that Broadway show, that Broadway play. It was called Slave Play.
No.
She was the lead character in that.
Yeah, man. Google that. That's something y'all can look up.
I don't know if I want to. Is it gonna make me look at her differently?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
I heard about it. I heard because I was in a forum, and a lot of black dudes like, I don't know why everybody's sweating her so bad if y'all seen her do that play.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I ain't gonna. If y'all want to look it up, go ahead. But I don't want to ruin nobody's Friday night.
Hey, man, that's what we do here. We ruin Friday nights because you listen to us.
However, I will say this in her defense, because I don't like to come across as like I'm just a know-it-all and all that, because like I'm not. All black people, we have conditioned. I can't speak for all black people, but most black people, the way we grew up in this country, we have the conditioned minds to think a certain way, and we all wake up at different points of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible that she could just not have known any better, and just like, hey, I just want this role, I just want the money, you know, and
A
I'm
lot of people
hoping
just
that's
trying to
it.
eat.
You know, yeah, and so maybe she has a completely different mindset right now.
She might.
Yeah, so we needed to hear that. Brandon, don't be sorry. Okay, I feel and Zia Latrice earlier talking about Wanda got the juice, but so yeah, I'm just saying like I'm not just gonna completely abandon her because look, she's still our sister. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes, you know, we all of us Black people, we do stuff that makes each other upset sometimes. But at the end of the day, we still have to, you know, hold each other down and be there for each other. So I'm not just going to abandon her and like F Tayana. I'm not going to do that, you know. But you know, we still do need to. What am I trying to? I think y'all get
People
what I'm
still
trying
need
to
to
say.
be held responsible. They can
Right.
we can hold you up, but you still have
Yeah.
to be responsible for
Right.
know
Yeah.
for your past.
Because the other thing you don't want to get in trouble doing is when you're trying to be your brother's keeper got to be your keeper too. There's times when your brother's gonna be weak. You hold him down, but you can't be the strongest link every single time. You gotta you've gotta help out. And I'm of the mindset of what you said, B. Avery. Maybe at that moment in her life, she had to have that gig. In her mind, she's still thinking, I'm for my people, I'm about my people, I'm going to do for my people, but I've got to get myself on my feet. I know a lot of people that have done that. Drug dealers have done that. You know, there are some people that ain't woke until they went through something like what maybe she went through. Then after that, they wake up a little bit and understand, you know what, I did do that, but at this point in my life, I realized it's not the way I thought it was then. And I would never do that again. So,
and I've been there too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or look at the celebrity. What's her name? Zoe Saldana.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah,
man.
yeah. She played that role. Was it
The
Nina
singer?
Simone?
Yeah,
yeah. And then
now
regretted it.
Now she regrets it because that's a prime example of what I'm talking about.
Right.
A prime example. Yeah.
But see, when you hear something like that, I can't feel bad for him at all because when that happened, when word had come down that she had gotten cast for that movie, she hadn't even shot a scene yet. When they had said that she was cast, people went ham. They were like, "Oh, hell to the no." People were up there raising a ruckus saying you need to recast and find somebody else. And she was online talking about I can do this and it's not right to try and make it seem like because someone has a lighter shade, they can't play a character, blah, blah, blah. No. And she regrets it now, but she wanted the money. She wanted the role. And now I just don't feel bad for people when they know what they're doing is not right and they do it anyways because they want the fame, they want the money, they want the shine. And then you don't get any of it. And on top of that, you feel bad about yourself forever.
Right. And Viola Davis is another example with her role in The Help. She did that, but she later regretted it, you know. And then I remember one time she went on some form on television and she started wearing her natural hair. And she had to be at least 40 at that time. So, I mean, I try not to judge, but at the same time, you know, we do got to hold each other accountable, like you were saying, Lamont. You know, so yeah, I don't mean to get too sidetracked though. But
here's the thing: back in the day, and I'm gonna say maybe about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you know, I would get it. People were just trying to eat. They were trying to get roles. There weren't a whole lot of roles for Black people, fewer roles for Black women. That's not the same today. I'm not saying that there's as many roles as there is for white women. I mean, as there are for, you know, Black women, as many roles as white women do or white men. But there's enough roles that you could say no to playing some ignorant ass shit. You don't have to play the chucking and jiving person or the mammy or the slave. You can leave all like I don't want to see any more slave movies unless it's done right by somebody and it needs to be respectful. I'm not saying that you should ignore that history, but it needs to be respectful.
Or Black man, you know, dressing up in a dress and stuff.
Oh
you
my
know,
Lord,
I don't want to see any more of that.
Right. I don't want to see no more. You know, they did it. They did it. Yeah, they did it in the past. They did it in the past. And a lot of us have done it. But I hope now that nobody would do that anymore. Like we all grow together.
Right.
You know, so
it's a different era, man.
I hate when those old skits come up of like, what's her name? Jamie Foxx's character. What was it? Wanda.
Yeah.
And Martin Lawrence's character is just.
Right. I look at it different now.
that brings me on to and I don't know if you watched it yet, Lamont, but the Eddie Murphy joint, the Back to America joint. I'm so tired of them placing what's her name from Saturday Night Live in that same
Leslie Jones.
I'm tired of her playing that same old oversized, hypersexual, chasing a man just the woman she's a talented actress and comedian. She's not some big wildebeest. She's a large woman. She's tall. She's not like she's unattractive. Stop making it seem like she can't get a man. I mean, it's ridiculous. Stop having her play that stupid ass role. I hate that.
I feel you.
But Larry, she keeps succumbing to it. And I mean, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. They only gonna do to you what you allow them to do.
That's true.
And she keeps allowing them to do it. And
she's got
enough. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Because I kind of want to review it with you guys when I get it done. I might have to save that for like Monday or something. But I definitely want to talk about it. And B. Avery, even though I shouldn't have, I watched some of your reviews already. I just couldn't help it, man.
I feel you.
There's certain stuff you, Larry, and E-Man and Sharonda put out. I will watch it before I watch it, the show or the movie. Just because of the way y'all go through it, it kind of lets me know, hell, do I need to even waste time? You know,
I hate that movie. I hate that movie for so many reasons. It was a long series of cameos, but I hate that movie. And there's one thing I wish that some of these people, B. Avery, I don't mean to call you out on this, but I wish people that do movie reviews would point out, which really, really fucking pisses me off. Why is it that it's okay to have these scenes with male rape and no one calls that shit out? Why is it that they're showing black men and men in general getting raped and no one says anything about it, and then they make fun of it or they make it seem as if the guy wanted it? That shit is terrible.
You're right.
The dude got drugged and raped, and that's the premise of the movie. That shit is not cool.
I can't argue with that. Good point.
Could you imagine? And then they're gonna make it seem like the rapist and the dude's wife are now gonna be homies. They're gonna be homegirls drinking together. I mean, could you imagine your wife gets raped and has a baby, and then the rapist comes back, and what? You're gonna be homeboys with him drinking?
Hell no, man. Hell no.
I mean, that's crazy.
The only way I'm gonna be his homeboy is if he's in an urn on my shelf.
I mean, that's my point.
It took me a while to realize what you said. I heard you, man.
You know?
I heard you,
man. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, rape is not cool. All that would have taken for them to change all that was one simple line. Just one line. They could have written anything. They could have just written where he said, "When in America," and then he could have just have done it, and that would have been it. No. You know, it could have been. They didn't have to make him get drugged and raped. I mean, that's
sorry for steering this way off topic. It's just that was passionate.
Oh, it's all good, bro. I mean, we pretty much done with WandaVision. It was a good series.
Well, can I say two more things about WandaVision?
Oh yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
When I was rushing here, swinging lane to lane, I was listening to y'all in the car. Y'all was talking about I think it was you, Lamont, saying that you didn't understand how Vision beam was coming out of his head without Power Stone. I completely bought it, because to me the Mind Stone, since Vision was born in Age of Ultron, Vision never remotely close used the Mind Stone to its full capacity. I think it was just a power source,
right? And
he just used it to to make projectiles. And so I just think that as long as he has power in his body, that he's just able to do that. That's just his design.
Okay.
And so I mean that's just me. I didn't have any issue with that or whatever or whatsoever. Okay. Also, I just wanted to highlight, I really do like the when Vision versus Vision, they was talking about the ship of Theseus or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know why that exchange was just dope to me.
I agree.
I just really liked it. I mean, I don't mean to sound, well, that's not silly, but there's always war, but it just, to me, that just goes to show this, like, all we need to do is communicate. For the most part, you know,
Right.
some people you can't communicate with. Some people don't know what communication is, and like what I think what Malcolm X said. He was like, you know, I'm nonviolent with people that are nonviolent, but then there are some people that don't even know the meaning of the word, and then you're wasting time. So I'm not saying you can just communicate with anybody, but there can be, you know, there would be so much less beef out there if you just communicate. These dudes are trying to kill each other. They start chopping it up on a topic that they both understand. The Theseus ship thing, which I've never heard of before. You know, sorry if I should have learned that a long time ago, but I just thought that was really dope right there.
Yeah,
I really did like this thing.
I like that too. We hinted on it. We didn't go in depth the way you did. They diffused each other.
Right.
They diffused each other, and the other vision allowed the Wanda reality vision to touch him on his head so that he could realize and see everything that they tried to not program into his memory. And I thought that was just beautiful. But now the question is, B. Avery, where is that vision?
Yeah, man. He trying to. I think he's just trying to comprehend it all. Like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying?
I think he killed himself. I think the other vision convinced him that he's the real vision, and he had to kill himself since his directive was to destroy Vision, and he realized he's the real Vision. His only real option was to destroy himself.
That's actually a good point. Now that I think about it, you're right.
Yeah, but how would he destroy himself when he's made of vibranium?
Fly himself into the sun.
Okay.
I also other thing that just disappointed me was we never did get to see the engineer. Like who Wanda said, not Wanda, but Monica said, "Hey, I gotta go meet my guy over the ridge in about an hour." Unless I missed something, it's just like
we never seen it.
What the hell?
And
that was disappointing to me.
You know what? I think they might pay that off in Captain Marvel too, because Jimmy Woo is going to be in Captain Marvel too. And they might pay it off in Captain Marvel too.
Right.
You know.
You know what I would love for happen with Jimmy Woo?
What's that?
I would love for him to be a Kroll.
I would be disappointed because I was gonna say
man.
I really like Jimmy Woo's character now because
I like him too. That would make me like him even more.
In Ant-Man, I thought he was I thought it was kind of a stereotype, you know. Not stereotype.
Yeah.
Just you know, like the same thing with Michael Pena, just a stupid, goofy, you know, Hispanic, just and then you got this Asian just
you know. Well, what about T.I.'s stupid goof? They stereotype him too.
Yeah. And the only reason I was okay with it to a degree was they did it. It wasn't just a black dude. Well, they didn't have no white people looking stupid. They just had a brown, black, and what was the other dude, a gypsy or something like that?
Yeah,
so, you know that I've never heard anybody talk about that. But now Jimmy Woo, man, he really I like his character now. They show that he can fight. He's intelligent. He has good morals. Good sense of humor. I want to see more of him. I
still think Monica and him are gonna hook up because she sort of eyeballed him. She was like, "Power's looking good on you." You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want that to happen. Budding romance.
Yeah, I don't want to see that happen, but I think what's gonna do you fellas think that they could make him fill the role of Agent Coulson the last 10 years? Because technically Coulson's supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And I can't lie, man. I was hurt when they got rid of him.
Yeah, I like Coulson.
I like Coulson. So you think Jimmy Woo can replace that void in the MCU, fellas?
I'm down with it. You know?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll go. Maybe he'll start working with War Machine, become the next Iron Man.
Who? Jimmy Woo?
Yeah, Jimmy Woo.
Man,
bro, two more weeks, man. It's going down, man.
Oh yeah. Before we get out of here, let me promo this stuff, man. This is what you got going on in Marvel this month. You got all this going on, my people, in Marvel, and I will get trailer reviews, theory reviews. I will get videos cranking this month to just start giving a blaze to all this stuff. And of course, we're going to be all up on this this premiere on March 19th. And I'm sure we'll come up here and talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut. But while we got this,
we get the Justice League on the 18th, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier on the 19th.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then look what you get on the 24th. You get Godzilla versus Kong.
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm hoping that's great, but all these movies that have been going straight to streaming have been sort of whack. So I'm just holding my breath. I'm not taking anything with as going to be good. I'm just going to say I'll go into it. I hope it's all right, but
I'm
all
saying
of them
this,
so far
Larry.
have been mediocre.
Larry, but
Except for Judas and the Black Messiah, that was good.
I was gonna say all the trailers have been mediocre except for Judas and the Black Messiah. That Godzilla trailer looked fine. The Mortal Kombat trailer looked fine. I was never thrilled by some of these other movies that we've seen that have come. I was never thrilled by them, not even coming up to America. But I was thrilled by the Mortal Kombat. I was thrilled by the Judas trailer, and I was thrilled by the Kong versus Godzilla trailer. So I think we might be in good company. But ladies and
I
gentlemen,
just want the Mortal Kombat dudes to be quiet, man. They're setting expectations too high. Just be quiet. Put out a couple of little clips of frame here and there, and let people just speculate, and then let it be awesome. Don't come out and say it's gonna be the best combat you've ever seen, ever in life. You're gonna die if you don't see it, and then you get it and you watch it, and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah,
you know. And it might be a great movie, but your expectations are so blown out of control that you're gonna be like, this is a garbage movie, and it might be the best movie you've seen.
Yeah. Can I make a quick call to action to all the people in the chat?
Yeah. Let me do one for you too, B. Avery. I want to say this. You know, me, B. Avery, and Larry, we be chatting all the time when news come out. Now, there was a call to action. I told B. Avery I was going to get started for him. In the same way that we have a Snyder cut, B. Avery has found a Whedon cut for. What was it? Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron. B. Avery, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. So as we've been watching this WandaVision, and y'all notice that at the end of each episode, they always promote you to watch Age of Ultron. Of course, that's where the real Pietro and Wanda come from. That was their origin story. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but there was a lot of scenes that were left on the cutting room floor. As far as Age of Ultron, I sent these brothers a clip. They actually had Vision and Thor fighting, in the movie. I mean, there was some clips of Ultron's origin that was cut out. Him being like forged in fire. I can go down the list, and I don't want to say that it's enough footage like the Zack Snyder cut, but there's enough footage for them to make a different edit for Age of Ultron. I mean, if you go and you listen to the you get real geeky right here, the what is it called, the director commentary, because you can I learned seriously, guys, I started listening to DVD commentaries like in the 2000s, and you can learn a ton about how filming is made. And for Age of Ultron, Joss Whedon broke a lot of stuff down of how he was kind of beefing with the studio. He was saying it's like, look, they either said that I can either have that Hawkeye farm scene with his family or have the journey with Thor, and the studio just didn't have faith in that vision, and so he had to pick. And that's why Age of Ultron is one of the weaker MCU films, or at least in my opinion. So I don't know, I think I may try to do some video giving all this information, including pictures, images, and footage and stuff like that, just really fleshing this out, because I think, with as much as everybody loves WandaVision and going back and watching Age of Ultron, I think that we should actually get the real Age of Ultron that, Joss Whedon, the director, really wanted to do, because he was bullied on set. I remember listening to the interviews and the reporting on this, and I'll just have to dig deep and find it. But yeah, release the Whedon cut. I'm gonna try to get that going.
Yes,
for Age of Ultron.
Get that hashtag going, brother.
Yeah. And my other call to action is like, we was just talking about what's coming up, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The writer for that.
Before you move on to that, I was gonna say, with all the stuff that's going on with Joss Whedon, I'm not sure anybody wants to see a Whedon anything right now.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, dude's falling out of favor right now, so the call for a Whedon cut might be a tough sell for a lot of folk.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
But it might pull him out of trouble.
Yeah, but what I was just gonna say is, like, of course, we three brothers up here, and the Falcon and the Winter, like, WandaVision, is predominantly white cast, but this Falcon and Winter Soldier is Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie leading it, a black male, but they're going to be dealing with a lot of social and racial issues. The writer already talked about that. So it's going to be blackity black, and I can't wait. And so I'm really hoping that I can grow my comic book audience with this show, and Lamont and Larry too. So if y'all are watching this, when Falcon and Winter Soldier just drops, just share our videos, just share our content. Say, hey, we got these brothers over here, Brandon, Lamont, Larry, E-Man, One Take, Sharonda. They covering this show. All I want you to do is just subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and just share our video with other Black people so that we can all grow our comic book audience.
Right.
And that's it. That's it. So we will really appreciate that.
All right,
and super
Larry.
chat if you like to.
Yeah, hit that super chat.
You know, as Janet Jackson said, if you're feeling nasty, super chat. So we'll be here. So
already.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here, man. Thank you all for coming. We reached a maximum of about 85 people. I'll take that. Got a super chat in here and there. Be sure to subscribe to all our channels. And as he said, as we start pushing us as content creators doing comics, share it with us, because we know there's millions of you guys out there watching it, but YouTube doesn't always send y'all our way. But we're here and we're growing our audience, and we want to do that with you. Come with us for the ride. Be sure to check us out Sunday. We'll be here Sunday, 6:30 for the stocks. Then we'll be flipping over to B. Avery's channel. And Larry's got one more thing he wants to say, and God forbid he call another good person bad.
No, I'm not going to call a good person bad. I just want to say mask up.
Already.
Okay.
I'm going to keep on nagging folks. Please wear your mask. These things, you know, everyone is running around talking about they're going to stop the mask mandates and all that. Please, there you go. I like that. So please put your mask on, wear your mask, stay protected. Even if your state has a dumb governor, just go ahead and ignore that and wear your mask when you're out and about. And also, if you haven't got vaccinated yet, try to get vaccinated. You can go to vaccine.finder.org, and you can put in your zip code and find where they have vaccines in your area, and you can find out if you are eligible to receive it. So
both my parents got vaxxed, so they both got vaccinated, and they still double mask. So
exactly,
nice.
Got to stay protected. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back Sunday. And then we'll come back Monday, and we'll all have had a chance to watch Coming to America 2. We'll break it down and discuss it. The last thing I'm going to let you guys see is what Marvel really wanted you guys to cry over. And after that, we'll see you guys.